When whispers began circulating online with the electrifying headline "Hybe confirmed," congratulations to Jungkook, army across the globe froze in anticipation. What could it be this time? Another milestone, another record shattered, another achievement that pushes the boundaries of what a K-pop idol can accomplish on the global stage. As excitement surged through social media timelines from Seoul to New York, from Jakarta to London, one thing became undeniably clear. Whenever Hybe confirms something about Jungkook, the world pays attention. And this time, the confirmation was not about rumors, not about speculation, not about controversy, but about celebration, about numbers that defy logic, about records that seem almost untouchable, about a golden journey that began with a shy teenager from Busan and evolved into a global phenomenon. From the very beginning of his career under Big Hit Entertainment, Jungkook carried a spark that insiders quietly spoke about. They called him Golden Maknae for a reason, but few could have predicted just how literal that nickname would become. Today, as a core member of BTS, Jungkook stands not only as a vocalist and performer, but as a record-breaking force of nature. Let's rewind to the early years. When BTS debuted in 2013, the industry was crowded and competitive. Survival was uncertain. Yet even in those formative years, Jungkook's live vocals, stability during intense choreography, and emotional delivery began drawing attention. Fast forward to global superstardom, and those early strengths transformed into historic milestones. One of the most astonishing achievements lies in global streaming power. Jungkook became the first Korean soloist to surpass multiple billion-stream milestones across platforms. His solo releases didn't just perform well, they dominated. Each drop triggered global listening parties. Each teaser sent fans into frenzy. Each performance clip trended within minutes. The sheer velocity of his digital impact placed him in direct comparison with Western megastars. And then came the charts. When Jungkook's solo single climbed the Billboard Hot 100, industry analysts watched closely. When it reached the top tier, they were impressed. But when he maintained chart presence with consistency rarely seen among international acts, conversations shifted from surprise to acknowledgement. Jungkook was no longer just a K-pop idol. He was a global pop powerhouse. On the UK official charts, similar scenes unfolded. Radio airplay increased, streaming figures surged. Media outlets began describing him as one of the most influential Asian artists in modern pop history, and the accolades didn't stop there. Guinness World Records listings began adding his name for achievements tied to streaming, social media engagement, and fastest milestones reached by an Asian solo artist. But perhaps what makes this moment even more powerful is context. Jungkook achieved these records while still being an active member of BTS. While balancing group promotions, global tour, award ceremonies, and brand partnerships, he simultaneously carved out an individual legacy strong enough to stand alone. Within BTS, Jungkook contributed to collective milestones that changed music history. Multiple Billboard #1 albums, stadium tour that sold out in minutes, performances at the Grammys that sparked global headlines, historic appearances at major U.S. award shows, cultural impact so massive that even political leaders acknowledged BTS's influence. As the youngest member, Jungkook grew under immense pressure. Cameras captured his transformation from wide-eyed trainee to confident global performer. Fans watched him refine his vocals, experiment with musical genres, and step forward with increasing artistic control. Every evolution added another layer to his reputation. And let's talk about live performance power. Critics consistently praised Jungkook's stability. During World Tour, fancams of his high notes racked up millions of views within hours. Concertgoers described his energy as explosive yet controlled. Even during demanding choreography, his vocals remained crisp, emotional, and unwavering. It's no coincidence that performance clips from stadium shows frequently trend independently of official promotions. Then came the era of solo stages at global events. Jungkook standing alone under stadium lights became a symbol of how far he had come. The crowd chants grew louder, the camera zoomed closer, and in those moments it felt like the entire world held its breath. Awards followed, both as a member of BTS and as a soloist. From Mama to Billboard, from domestic honors to international recognition, Jungkook's name became synonymous with excellence. Industry insiders began referring to him as one of the most commercially reliable artists of his generation. Yet numbers alone do not tell the full story. Jungkook's social media presence also broke records at lightning speed. Whether launching a new account or posting a surprise live broadcast, engagement metrics skyrocketed instantly. Within hours, follower counts surged into the millions. Comments poured in from dozens of languages. Hashtags trended worldwide within minutes. This digital magnetism translated into brand power. Luxury houses, global fashion brands, and premium watchmakers reportedly competed for collaboration opportunities. When Jungkook wore a specific outfit, items sold out within hours. When he mentioned a product casually during a live stream, demand spiked globally. Economists even coined phrases describing the Jungkook effect. But perhaps the most emotional records are those tied to fans. Concert ticket demand repeatedly crashed booking platforms. Solo fan events drew unprecedented registration numbers. Streaming parties organized by ARMY achieved synchronized global impact. Jungkook's name consistently ranked among the most searched musicians worldwide year after year. Hybe's confirmation of these accumulated milestones wasn't merely a press statement, it was an acknowledgement of an era. An era where a young artist from Busan became one of the most recognizable voices in global pop. And yet, what makes Jungkook's journey extraordinary isn't just achievement, it's growth. There were moments of doubt, moments of vulnerability shared during documentaries and interviews. Jungkook openly discussed pressure, expectations, and self-improvement. Instead of weakening his image, those admissions strengthened fan connection. They humanized the superstar. His musical versatility further solidified his legacy. From emotional ballads to R&B-inspired tracks, from pop anthems to experimental sounds, Jungkook continuously expanded his artistic range. Producers praised his adaptability. Fellow artists expressed admiration. Collaborations hinted at global bridges being built. Inside BTS, his role remained irreplaceable. Harmonies layered around his voice formed the backbone of many hits. Dance breaks often centered around his sharp precision. As the Golden Maknae, he embodied the all-rounder archetype: vocalist, dancer, performer, visual and creative contributor. As years passed, the accumulation of records began resembling a mountain. Fastest to achieve, first Korean soloist to reach, most streamed within timeframe, highest debut by, longest charting among, the list grew so extensive that summarizing it felt nearly impossible. But numbers aside, perhaps the real record Jungkook holds is cultural resonance. In classrooms, dance studios, and vocal academies around the world, young artists cite him as inspiration. Reaction channels analyze his technique. Vocal coaches dissect his control. Fashion commentators discuss his influence. Economists examine his market power. When Hybe officially congratulated Jungkook for his unprecedented milestones, it wasn't simply corporate pride. It symbolized acknowledgement from the industry structure that once nurtured him. It signified that the boy who auditioned years ago had become one of the most bankable and respected artists under their label. And what's even more astonishing, many analysts believe he is only getting started. With each passing year, Jungkook appears more confident in his artistic identity. Studio sessions reportedly stretch longer, creative input increases, his vocal tone deepens with maturity, stage presence evolves into something magnetic yet effortless. The future holds enormous potential: global tour, expanded collaborations, perhaps even genre-defining projects that push boundaries beyond current expectations. If the records achieved so far seem impossible to surpass, history suggests Jungkook thrives precisely in that space, where impossible becomes motivation. Fans across continents celebrated Hybe's confirmation as if it were a personal victory. Social media flooded with congratulatory edits, compilation videos, and heartfelt messages. The phrase "we're proud of you, Jungkook" trended globally within hours. Because beyond the trophies, beyond the streams, beyond the headlines, this journey represents dedication, years of training, sleepless nights in practice rooms, relentless rehearsals, sacrifices invisible to the public eye. From Busan's quiet beginnings to global stadium lights, Jungkook's trajectory reads like a modern music legend unfolding in real time. And so, as the congratulatory banners rise and the statistics continue climbing, one question lingers in the minds of fans and industry watchers alike. If this is what Jungkook has achieved while still growing, while still evolving, while still part of a group reshaping global pop culture, what record will he break next? For now, one thing is certain. Hybe has confirmed it, the world has witnessed it, history has recorded it. Congratulations, Jungkook. The Golden Maknae's story is far from finished, and if the past is any indication, the next chapter may shatter expectations all over again.